This is Moments with Foo with James Foo Torres, better known as Foo, the show that takes you around the world to share interviews with some of the most successful and relevant people on the planet, hear their stories, and get the most important business lessons they have learned on their road to success, and get exclusive advice on how to implement their success into your life and business. Moments with Foo is brought to you by the Strategic Advisor Board and your host, Foo.
Hello and welcome with Moments with Foo. I'm your host, James Foo Torres, but you can call me Foo. Hence the name of the segment. And today I have Justin Johnson, which he is the CEO of Just in Time Fitness and Sports Training. I'm going to let him talk to you more about that. But first, Justin, how are you?
I'm doing good. Well, just like Foo said, man, my name is Justin Johnson. I'm the CEO of Just in Time Fitness and Sports Training and the creator of the Fit Pro Biz Academy. My background, I've been in the fitness industry since 9 years old. I played basketball. I was awarded a scholarship to attend college on a basketball scholarship. So that entire background is what led me into the fitness industry. And at this point now, I do still service my clients as a trainer, but I'm starting to shift a little bit and start to assist other trainers in building their business.
Awesome. And what you saw the need that it's like, hey, like I monetize my way of coaching and I see a lot of coaches struggling. And then it was like, that's kind of you when you saw the need and you're like, hey, like I've done this successfully. I know I can help others. Is that kind of how you went into this?
Yeah, well, with athletes, especially ones that are awarded the opportunity to play professionally, we're so locked in and zoned in with that tunnel vision that we don't often think about what's next because eventually, the ball stopped bouncing. You know what I mean? And you have to make a pivot into another industry. So for me, I wanted to stay within the fitness industry because, for one, it was natural. I had a trainer since, I was young, playing basketball in high school. I was a top 100 athlete in the nation. So I took my training serious, and just that background kind of influenced my direction and what I would do next after playing professionally.
Awesome. That's good to hear. This is one thing that I can hopefully people can take away from this is that to start thinking about that even prior, use your influence where you have it and make the most of it. Like one thing that comes to mind is Clifford Taylor the fourth. It's a guy that I follow that he was in the walk-ons or walk-ins, I think it's called. Like
Okay, he was a walk-on. So
yeah.
What that means is he didn't receive a scholarship, and it's so hard for a walk-on to make it. It's 10 times harder. Like a scholarship guy can mess up numerous times on the court, but if you're a walk-on, it's like, yeah, you mess up one time and you're out. So I can respect that for sure.
And one big thing that I 100% recommend you to check him out is he used his influence as a walk-on to then become a social media influencer that now it's doing all these videos and creating content now for the NBA. He is the TikTok person in charge of the NBA's account. And because of that, coming from that, so that's something that, I highly recommend you to follow him. I think you're gonna
Man,
vibe.
yeah. As soon as we finish, I got to look him up.
Yeah. It's he just got verified. Like I don't think he was not even a month ago. It's like 3 weeks ago. He's just now blowing into stardom. So
Okay.
yeah, something to keep in mind. Maybe like you guys connect and maybe do something cool. Maybe who
Oh
knows?
man, I'm always trying to network and see if we could cross pollinate and try and make things happen.
Yeah, one thing that I really like about him is he's been documenting all his journey and doing all this like funny, relatable videos that maybe I don't relate to it completely, but probably you will relate a lot more knowing coming from there because his background is basketball, but then he went to trials to be a walk on football, and he actually made the team with the Gators and now in Florida and now he used that as a vehicle, and now he's doing videos for the NBA. So like I love his story. We've talked a couple of times and everything's pretty cool, dude. So it's amazing what he's doing.
No, that's super dope. That's super dope. At Ole Miss, we actually had a guy that played 4 years on a basketball scholarship and decided to just go and see what happened on the football field. He did pro day, ended up getting picked up by the Dallas Cowboys, and then won a ring with the Saints. And he hadn't played football since he was in high school.
That happens, and that's when it comes back to now, like talking about fitness and training. It's just be ready, right? If you're a sports guy, like, that doesn't mean if you play basketball, that doesn't mean that you don't have the skill set for football, like, and vice versa. And that's why, like, the people that stay ready, those are the people that take advantage of those opportunities. So that's one advice for me, is just stay ready, right?
That's it. Especially like, for the younger guys, you're gonna come up against so many different obstacles, that could discourage you and make you, oh man, I ain't going to work out today, or I'm just gonna relax and chill or go hang out with the homies. And then that's when the opportunity pops up. And then now, you behind the eight ball because you haven't been training. So I live by that. You stay ready, you don't have to get ready.
Exactly. So that was good. That was good. And do you have any tips or advice, now that we're just talking about staying ready? So you have any tips of advice for people that are either business owners that are being in business, you have to take care of your body even more, I think.
Mhm.
So do you have any tips for business owners to stay in shape in a way that it's not gonna be like super like time demanding, being efficient with their time? Do you have any tips or advice for business owners for that, in that matter?
Oh man, that's amazing. Most definitely. I recently and it's been stuck in my mind for a few months, and so now I think I'm gonna put it out there. But this one thing that I had that I thought about was 10K before 10A.
10K before 10A.
All right. So the concept behind that is 10,000 steps, right? Before 10 a.m.
10 a.m. Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
so 10K before 10A. And the reason I came up with that was because there was a time where I couldn't hit the gym as much as I wanted to. And I started to notice, because I'm a nice sized guy. You know what I mean? I was noticing that I was losing or like maintaining or losing weight, which was kind of weird. I was like, man, how am I dropping weight? I haven't been in the gym to play ball. I haven't been lifting. And the one thing that I was doing was I was walking a lot, and I would check my phone, and waking up early in the morning, especially waking up around 5:30 or whatever. Your day starts a little early, right? So that's like 4.5 hours. So I would walk around the neighborhood talking to my mother and my father. you know I would call my oldest son, have conversations with him and things like that. And by the time I got home, I did 10,000 steps. You know what I mean? And I live near the beach. So, I may walk to the beach, get that energy from the water. You know what I mean? Let my feet touch the sand and the grass
Get
a little bit.
grounded. Like, I like calling
Yeah.
it just grounded. When you have your feet just straight to the sand. I'm from Puerto Rico, so
Okay.
I'm an island boy.
Okay.
So,
Okay. But
yeah.
no, the one thing about the grounding, or if you call it grounding, earthing, either one, it's a natural alkaline. Which with all of these drinks now that are coming out, oh, alkaline this, alkaline that, and really, they putting a whole bunch of nonsense in your water. But that's one of the most natural ways just to get pure natural alkaline, is just to take your shoes off sometimes, not on concrete, but just go in the grass and just really connect. You know what I mean? And if you do
Connect
it
with the earth.
15-30 minutes or beyond, after a while, you'll start to feel that rejuvenation. You know what I mean? That almost laziness kind of leave your body, because you have that natural energy that sugars and things of that nature can't provide. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I completely agree with that. For me, that's just something that I love. I love just being barefooted, and especially like if I'm in sand, because I love the beach. I'm from Puerto Rico, so like that's my thing. I just went there all the time, and now every time chance that I got, like that's what I love the most, just being in water, or being in like sand or grass. That just always just is the way to that I feel. And this, I mean, actually, I saw a couple videos of this. It's like we have so many frequencies and so many stuff going on that we kind of hold some of them. I mean, we have a phone next to us in our pocket all the time and stuff. So when we ground ourselves, right, like you will ground an electrical component, it's the same thing. Like you release all this extra like energy and static and all these different things, that all these waves are touching our body all the time. So I completely believe in this, and I recommend it to everybody too. Every now
Yeah.
and then, go ground yourself.
Yeah. And I mean, you know, so that would be like a big piece of information for somebody, for even, you know, for the average individual working a 9 to 5 or entrepreneur. I say, you know, for one, you for sure have to start your day early. And I mean, that is the biggest tip. I recommended that for my mother, right? And she started just to implement walking as she does her videos. She's a motivational speaker, author, and she has a program to empower women. So, you know, while she's doing her social media stuff, she's walking. And over a time span, you know, less than a year, she lost like 35 pounds.
That's
You know what
cool.
I mean? So that is, you know, a first step, because any and everybody can walk, right? You know, you don't have to have a gym for it. You just go outside. You can go to a local park, you know, like we were discussing, if you don't have a beach near you, and just walk around while you handle other things. You know what I mean? You can still be connected to your business, but, you know, body and physically, you're, you know, connected to the earth. And I mean, I feel like that's beneficial. But yeah, that's one thing that people overlook, the power of walking. You know,
Mhm.
I feel like that's a super underrated, you know, exercise, because everybody's always looking for the big thing. Oh man, I got to do squats. And sometimes that could be discouraging for people. You know what I mean? Like, in order to get where I want to health wise, like I have to do all of these things. Well, no, all you got to do is take the first step, literally. You know what I
Literally,
mean? Take the
literally,
first step.
quite literally. Yeah.
Yeah.
I and
And
yeah,
everything
this
will be
is
fine from
something.
there.
Yeah, this is something that it's just getting, it's just action. It's just taking action. And it's like, when you say literally, it's like, yeah, just take that step, right? So that's
Yeah.
why I liked it. And another thing is that it's just that it's not, you don't have to go 2 hours to the gym and like kill yourself. Like, I don't go to a gym. I don't go to a gym, and I'm in good shape
Mhm.
because I do things like I do yoga 15 to 25 minutes. And even though like when I was traveling and stuff, so I didn't do it, but then I always have it in mind. It's like, like I'm gonna aim to do it every day. And then sometimes things happen, but like because I aim to do it every day, then I do it often enough. And then I go on spans that I'm like super faithful, right? And I do it for like a 28 days or like months straight, and then something's happened and stuff. But like I aim to do it every day. Short, I just try to do a lot of repetitions, but then short spans of time, like
Mhm.
yoga and walk, like you said, just being on the phone, just walking while I'm like doing sales calls with them, just like networking calls
Exactly.
in general, just on the phone, like talking to my family, and like even just getting water in my grass, like, and I'm like, oh,
Yeah,
just watering the grass, and it feels like a decompressing moment while I'm actually just being productive anyway.
for
So
sure.
I resonate with what you said a lot.
Yeah, nah, for sure, man.
Yeah, and one other thing that I want to ask you is, do you have a challenge that taught you a lot that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, like I said, I played basketball as a kid, starting at age 9. And at age 9, I wasn't the best. It wasn't a thing that, you know, I just gravitated towards basketball because I was so amazing. I was decent at age 9, but I really fell in love with the game. You know what I mean? And once I fell in love and it became a passion, then I really started to put the work behind my words. You know what I mean? I wanted, the very first thing was I wanted to make my high school team. My father took me to a high school game when I was young, and just watching those guys was like watching the NBA. You know what I mean? And like at that age, they're dunking, they're flying in. And our school was always like a top 1 or 2 team in the state. By the time that I attended the school, we were ranked top 50 nationally.
Yeah.
So that kind of assisted in my top 100 ranking. But throughout all of that success, there were different things, different obstacles that I would have to overcome, right? The first one was me making varsity, right?
It's a big one.
We had 6 Division I guys on our team, that went on to play college. And as a freshman, and being my size, like I'm only 6 feet tall, we had guys that are 6'7", 6'8", 6'9". I couldn't allow that to discourage me. You know what I mean? The only thing that I could do was make sure that I was putting in the ample work to get to where I needed to, So I remember we had what's called Media Day. And like I said, because we had so many guys going Division I, everybody wanted to talk to them, and they were juniors and seniors. And here I am, a freshman, not invited to Media Day. Not only did I not get interviewed, but I didn't get invited. You know what I mean? And that hurt me. That hurt me tremendously. And I remember going home. My parents are super supportive. And that day, they just allowed me to just like kind of deal with it. You know what I mean? It wasn't a lot of pats on the back. Oh, it's okay, son, this and that. Just like leave them alone and let them feel this, right? After that, I pretty much destroyed the league my last 3 years of high school.
You remember the feeling and you didn't want to feel that ever again. That's what Kobe has said before, like when he lost in the 2008 with the versus the Celtics. I was seeing an interview last week and he was saying like, I wanted to like soak it in. Like you said, like just let him feel it. Just feel it and get in your core. It's like, I never want to feel like this ever again. So I'm not gonna be this. And then look, you went, and because of that. So I look. I got a basketball signed by James Donaldson. So he's he's in the all-time starting lineup of the Dallas Mavericks.
Okay, yeah,
so I was with him and over the weekend, and he signed. Like, I won this like signed ball by him. I got a couple pictures with him. Ball is life for me. Like,
oh man, okay.
That,
I love to hear that.
Yeah, and that's not something that as long as I can run and I can dribble a ball, like ball is life, and like that's my favorite way to work out. The only thing is like I moved to a new state and having found like that crew that you always balling and stuff like that's something that I'm actually looking for. It's just busy with the business and stuff. So I'm trying to just because when you go to the court, like at least I don't leave there until like I'm like completely dead or basically there's nobody else to play. It's like, oh, I'm done quit. Like I go until like I can't no more. Like I puked before because I'm not gonna quit. I ball is life for me. So that's why I got my girlfriend. I was like, hey, just bring me this because I wanted to show you like I'm
that's love right there, man. I can respect that.
Yeah, so yeah, I really, really like that because it was something that impacted me a lot from Kobe, and then hearing it from you and like seeing that pattern of soaking it in a loss and being like, I don't want to feel like this anymore. And that's something that I've been applying to my business. I don't want to feel like I'm a loser, right? Like I never want to feel like that. And obviously we got to be realistic and have a balance on setting realistic goals that we can actually achieve. So we're like, oh, we didn't hit 100K this month, so I'm gonna lose, right? No, it's not like that. It's just make achievable goals, and as long as you're moving towards your goal, you're always winning.
Exactly.
That's
because I mean, throughout the journey, you're learning. You know what I mean? And being able to reflect on past lessons and I say lessons, I don't, because I hate the word loss, right? Or just taking an L, you know what I mean? Like I consider it, you're learning along your journey. So for me, remembering that feeling, I was able to connect whenever it was something outside of basketball and I had that feeling, I knew that I could get through it. You know what I mean? So my advice for anybody is always, there's something in your life that you've gone through that you thought, would destroy you, and it didn't, right? That thing is what you have to pull from whenever you encounter that same instance. And it could be in a different realm. You know what I mean? It doesn't have to just be only sports where you only thinking, oh, well, I felt like that, but it was only because of basketball. No, the feeling is the same. You know what I mean? Like the body doesn't know, like, oh, well, I'm gonna create a sadness for basketball, which is gonna be a different sadness for, if somebody that's important to me passes away, or, it's a different sadness if this happens. Well, yeah, the levels may change, but how you handle it is gonna be the same. You know what I mean? For that moment, you're allowed to soak it in, accept, the lesson, the loss, whatever you may call it. And then from there, it's like, okay, well, what do I build? How do I pick myself up? And a lot of basketball lessons have been like very, very important to my business, because anytime something business wise happens that's discouraging, I have something that I've done all of my life to reflect on and say, oh, okay, this is kind of like this situation. And I got through it. So it's okay. All right, boom. I just got to get to work. You know what I mean? I have to work smarter. I have to identify, what did I do last that maybe got me this result? Let me do something different. Or let me take a few of the key aspects of that, implement them, and then, you know what I mean? Just kind of reshape it so I have a different result at the end of it.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's that's I'm a sports guy because I'm a competitive person. I
Mm-hmm.
love basketball is my favorite one, but I also try every sport because if I can do it and I know if I can win, there's a chance I can win. I'm gonna play. Because
Yeah, right. I
I'm a
dig it.
competitive guy, and that's why like I'm very passionate about business because it's kind of like a sport in a way, maybe like I would say an extreme sport, but
Yeah.
yeah, because it's like it's a lot in the line. It's a lot in the line, especially when you start growing, start hiring people and all that stuff. Now it's not just you; you are also the livelihood of people starts being on the line too.
For sure.
So
For
that's
sure.
why the sports mentality. I love talking with people that are good in sports, and majority of like very successful business owners have been either in sports or at least in the gym and stuff because it's the discipline. You know
Hmm.
it's good for you. Everybody knows it's good for you. It's all about the discipline. So
That's it.
and the what sports teach you, it's other than like the team building and leadership and all that, but also how to bounce back, how to
Oh my
bounce back.
God.
So that's why one thing that you were kind of saying, that's what I got is it's just the bounce back. That's part is like you gotta take losses, you gotta take learning opportunities, but then you just have to go through all like the stages of grief almost in
Mhm.
everything that you do. That's what you say, like the different emotions, and you still have to go. You have to accept it. Then you have to like how I'm gonna like soak it in, deal with it, and then be like, okay, I'm over it now. I learned from it. Let's keep moving, right? So even though you might take a lot of time or just seconds to do all those, you still have to go through them. Doesn't matter if it's a loss of a family, like you said, or an L that you took on a basketball game, or an L that you took in a business for X or Y reason. So
Mhm.
yeah, thank you for that to give us that perspective because I can resonate with it, and I know there's gonna be a lot of people that is gonna resonate with that because in business and sports, it's just it's like
It's
different
identical.
battles, but it's
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.
It's similar.
And I mean, you think about in a basketball game, the different aspects of it. Like if my shot is not falling, I can still play defense. You know what
Mhm.
I mean? I could still rebound. I could still be a positive energy on the floor for my team. You know what I mean? I
Mhm.
could cheer my guys on. Like there are so many different aspects, and just like you were saying, just with business, okay, sales are different this month. What can I do? You know what I mean? What else can I do? Well, I'm doing everything that I did last month, and sales change. Well, okay, instead of moping about it, you revamp a plan and then you attack from there, and then those results will reflect, you know what I mean, the fact that, oh, okay, like I've been through it, I made the adjustment and it got better. Some people, they hit that wall, and then the first thing they think is, oh man, it's not working, I gotta quit. But
Yeah,
what
yeah.
works? You
That's
know
what
what I mean?
happens. That's what happens in business and in life in general. And the people that are successful is just the people that don't quit. And
Yeah.
that's why it's very important that I say this in every podcast, but I'm gonna keep saying it because it's important to be very passionate about what you do because when things get hard, then
Uh-huh.
you have something. And that's why it's very important also to have the North Star to
Mhm.
remember why you're doing it. And that's why I ask that all the time in the beginning of the podcast. It's like, give me a short intro so we get a little bit of the story, what you do, so we know like what you're focusing on right now and why. Because the why is what actually keeps you in check. When things go hard, it's like, fuck this, you know? But then you're like, well, I'm doing this because I have, I gotta take care of my family, I gotta take care of my employees, I gotta take care of my team members, all those different things. It's like it becomes bigger than you. So that's when you don't quit when it gets hard, because it's not you, it's other people.
Yeah, no, I had a mentor, and he used to ask me, what's your super why, Jay? You know what I mean? And like that's how intense he was. He was like, nah, it has to be a super why. You know what I mean? It's
A
not.
super why. I got it. I
Yeah,
like it. I
yeah.
like it.
Because I mean, you know what I'm saying? Why you doing it? You know what I mean? But like just like you said, when your family depends on it, or you know, your livelihood or whatever it may be, your parents, a relative, you know, I have to grind because I have to be able to help my mother, my auntie, my father, my brothers, my sister,
It's
whoever
not
it
just
may
you.
be. That's what's gonna keep you pushing. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? Because just like you said, if you know there's no passion behind it, that it's not your super why. Soon as it gets rough, I'm on to the
Fuck
next
this.
thing.
Yeah,
You know what I
fuck this.
mean? Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
And
I know.
and it's
It's
just like you know, business and everything in the beginning, like dating. You know what I mean? Like it's always beautiful at the beginning. You know what I mean? But it's just like, oh, okay, falling in love with somebody and that being unconditional love, like that's the why that's going to maintain the relationship when things get hard. You know,
love is not everything. So there has to be a shared vision and all that. And that's why the same thing in business, like not because you like each other, that means that it's just gonna work. Because you like being around each other and talk to each other. There's way more, like there's commitment, there's discipline, there's the vision, the goals of where you're trying to go, and it's very important both in life and business. So
I
thanks
agree.
for bringing that point. So just to, I know there's gonna be couple people are gonna be like, hey, like this guy's super cool, like I want to talk to him more about this stuff. So how can people find you? What's the easiest way to, I don't know, keywords online, or maybe your best links?
Okay. Well, of course, I'm super active on Instagram. And then I can also be found on my website. But my website is www.justintimefnst fitness and sports training.
Okay.
So just in time fitness and sports training, fnst.com. That's how you can find me on my website. On IG, I am the Fresh Prince of Bel Air. So that is THA and then Fresh Prince of Bel Air all together, no periods or nothing. And of course, I'm on LinkedIn, anything that's social media. If you type in just in time fitness and sports training, I'll always pop up, or just simply search Justin Johnson.
Yeah, perfect. No, I'm gonna add the links in here, but it's just so people can hear from you, just in case they're cleaning or something, they're hearing to the
Yeah,
podcast. So that they can get, if they wanna like just remember maybe later, that's a good
yeah.
way to do it. So,
Feel
thank
free to
you.
contact me. You know.
They, yeah, no, the links are gonna be here. I'm gonna put the Instagram, LinkedIn, and everything, so it's gonna be easy. And I just want to say that thank you for your time. I had a good time. Always talking with somebody that likes basketball as almost as maybe even more than I do. Like I don't know, it's kind of hard because I love basketball, but
Oh
so,
man, nah, bro.
so
We got to meet up and just at least get some.
we can just hoop, right? That would be cool. We can just talk business and then talk a little trash while talking.
Hey, whenever you in LA, man, we'll team up. We'll run twos against somebody, man. You know.
Dude, I'm down. I'm down because what I can do is like just make it a business trip, and we do content. We can even record a podcast over there and all that. That
Yeah.
definitely LA is somewhere that I have a lot of people there that I, because of my business. I mean, LA PR,
Yeah. Yeah, for
So
sure.
definitely I can go have a trip and make a lot of different things and meet you and meet a couple other people. I mean, one of my team members are over there too. So yeah, this will be cool. This will be cool. Thanks for taking the time to add some value and have just an interesting conversation. I think it was cool.
Man, no, I appreciate it. Thank you for contacting me. And I mean, this was an amazing interview. I appreciate it.
Perfect. So this is Fu and Justin signing off.
Thanks for listening to Moments with Fu with your host, Fu. Please leave your feedback and visit strategicadvisorboard.com to get the latest and greatest business advisement on the planet. Follow us on social media for updates, and we will see you on the next episode.